to the March 2026 meeting of the Metropolitan Washington Old Time Radio Club. We've got a lovely evening lined up here, and I think it's going to be lots of fun. So, first of all, let me wish all of you a happy Friday the 13th. And I hope the day has not lived up to its bad reputation. I consider it lucky, Friday the 13th. Now, Carl, I think you're here with Marcia.
Yes.
So Carl, would you like to get us started with our first 15?
Certainly, you'll need to make Frank co-host or
Okay,
whatever.
thank you for the reminder. I'm a little discombobulated here. Let me see, where's Frank's screen? Frank, where are you? It should be. Here he is. Okay, make co-host. Thanks for the reminder, Carl.
Okay, right on.
Okay, we're ready. Let's share screen. Share sound. Everybody see?
No.
Nope.
No. All right. Try what I got share screen. Share sound. Now?
There you go.
There
Yes.
we go. Thanks, Frank.
Yes, we can see it.
All right.
Okay, so this month's first 15. Mary Foster, the editor's daughter. Those of you who were with us last month heard an excellent talk by Dr. Lona Bailey on the history of Joan Banks Lovejoy, and Dr. Bailey presented an episode, I believe it was, of Suspense, an excerpt of an episode of Suspense of Joan and her husband Frank Lovejoy, and I thought for an excellent follow-up this month we would have a first 15 on Joan's first leading radio role in the daytime serial Mary Foster, the Editor's Daughter. This transcribed syndicated series was heard Monday through Friday. It was written by Vic Whitman from Connecticut originally, produced by the Ralph H. Jones Company in Cincinnati, one of the larger advertisings in Cincinnati at that time, and it was sponsored by the Kroger Grocery and Baking Company, also headquartered in Cincinnati. Kroger is still there. It's one of the biggest grocery chains in the country, with a couple, 2,000 or 3,000 stores in 35 states. Mary Foster, the Editor's Daughter, commenced on radio February 14th, 1938, and continued unabated until the summer of 1950, with approximately 3,200 episodes, which was great considering it was a transcribed series. Not as many episodes as perhaps the more famous radio soap operas of Ma Perkins and some of the others. And as we'll see in the episode in the next slide, that there's no sponsor, but here we go from August 12th, 1946, program 2195.
And now, Mary Foster, the editor's daughter. Mary Foster Lord is deeply disturbed about her father's agreement to play another golf match with John Redmond, the winner to publish the loser's newspaper for one issue. She's thinking of it as she sits at home sewing, but her thoughts are interrupted as...
Come in. Well, Fred Hunt.
Hello, Mary.
Since when have you had to ring the doorbell instead of walking right in?
I thought I'd better ring, especially where you've been so mad at me.
Sit down. Well, I haven't been mad at you. I don't know where you ever got that idea.
You broke our engagement, didn't you?
Well, yes, but it wasn't a question of being mad at you, Fred. Just that I decided it would be a mistake to continue with it. I told you just how I felt at the time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm here to see if there's any chance of you coming back to work at my office. I gotta have a girl in the office. I'm out so much of the time, and if you won't come back, I'll have to, well, look around for somebody else. But you know the routine.
I'll pay you more than I was paying you before.
You were paying me very well before.
I can raise it a little bit. What do you think?
Oh, Fred, I'm afraid not. But thanks just the same for wanting me to come back.
Will you consider it for a couple of days? I can leave the job open that long, I guess.
Oh, well, I don't know. Perhaps I could consider it. Fred, I'll be perfectly frank with you. I'd much rather just keep on with the care of the house and the children. Dad wants me to do that, and it's really a better arrangement. But...
Oh, sure, I can understand that.
Well, the picture may change, though, after Monday.
What do you mean?
I mean, if Dad loses to John Redmond, I may need to go out and work.
Has Henry made that same contract with Redmond again about the newspapers?
Yes, I'm sorry to say that he has.
Well, he's really asking for trouble, isn't he?
He certainly is. But when Redmond put up a howl about being cheated, well, you know all about what Amelia did, of course.
Yeah.
Dad said that he'd give him another chance. I don't know what the outcome will be, but I do know that if Redmond wins, and he has a much better chance of winning than Dad has, if he wins, it's going to hurt Dad financially. Because John Redmond has some plan to hurt the Sentinel. I know that.
Oh, no doubt of that. That guy always has an axe to grind where Henry's concerned.
So, as I say, if Dad loses, I may go out and look for a job.
Yeah. Well, I'd hate to see you have to take a job on that basis, Mary, but, well, if it happens that way, you come on back.
I'll let you know after they play Monday.
Okay, fair enough. Where's Henry now?
Oh, he's out on the course with Bill Nelson. Bill is coaching him on how to play.
Oh.
They should be getting it back pretty soon now. They've been... Oh, wait a minute. Here they come.
That gives Nelson a pretty good excuse to hang around here, doesn't it, where he's teaching Henry golf.
Fred, do you think that's a nice thing to say?
Well, isn't it true?
No, it is not true. Bill doesn't hang around here or anywhere else. Look here, I thought you'd gotten to like him.
Oh, Doc's all right, but... Well, I can't say I'm keen on sitting back and watching you fall for him.
Now, Fred, look. Let's have this understood once and for all. If there's going to be any more talk like that, you can find someone else to work in your office, because I won't.
Okay. You don't need to get so...
And I mean it, too.
My gracious, I hit that last one, didn't I, Doc? It was a honey. Hello, Fred.
Hi. Hello, Henry.
Oh, how are you, Fred? Glad to see you again.
Thanks.
How'd you do, Bill?
He did all right. If he doesn't watch out, he's likely to become a golfer.
Well, good for him.
I guess there ain't much danger of that happening. But for the first time, you know, I realized that it's kind of fun to whack that little white ball and watch it sail.
Well, of course it is. It's lots of fun. Fred, you ought to go out and try it.
I've been thinking of it. But after all, I got a business to tend to, and that's more important than golf.
Oh, nonsense. You can't work all the time.
Well, I always have.
How about going out with me sometime, Fred? You could spare a few hours, couldn't you?
Well, I don't know. I'll see. Thanks for the invitation. Well, I guess I'll be on my way.
Wait. You don't need to hurry, Fred. Glad to have you sit around and talk for a few minutes.
Oh, I've got some things at the office I have to do. You let me know about that Monday, then, will you, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Say, come think of it, I got some errands to do down the street. Mind if I ride along with you, Fred?
Come right along.
I'll be back in about an hour, Mary.
Oh, all right, Dad.
See you later, Doc. Much obliged to you.
The pleasure's all mine, Henry.
Well, I'm glad you're going along with me, Henry, because I want to talk to you. I want an opinion from you.
All right. You can have it, boy. Although I won't guarantee it'll be any good, you know. What is it? What's on your mind?
Well, I'm wondering about Mary and Nelson.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it looks to me an awful lot like Mary's falling for him. Is she?
Fred, I tell you honest, I couldn't say as to that. I couldn't say definitely, that is. But as far as I've been able to make out, she likes him. And that's the extent of it.
Oh, I guess it's getting to be past the liking stage.
Then if you know, what'd you ask me for?
Oh, I'm not sure about it. That's just the way it looks to me. I'd hate for that to happen, Henry. You can probably understand when you've been crazy over a girl for years, the way I've been about Mary and still am. Well, it hurts to watch another man step in and take your place.
Yeah, most likely it does, Fred. But since it's my policy to say just what I think, I'm going to tell you that it's your own fault and nobody else's. Now, take little things, for example. For instance, when Doc and I came in the house just now, you know, you was pretty short with him.
I didn't intend to be rude, but I wasn't going to fall all over him.
No, you made that evident enough. And then again, when he asked you to go out and play golf, my gracious, you just about growled at him.
Listen, Henry, you can't make me be friends with Nelson. Now, there's no use trying.
I ain't trying to make you friends with him. It's nothing to me one way or another. I mentioned the way he acted because Mary, she'd notice it too. And it certainly wouldn't make her feel any more kindly towards you.
Henry, I'm no hypocrite.
All right, you ain't a hypocrite. Nobody say you was. But you tell me how much you think of Mary and all that, and you're wondering why she don't seem to care as much for you as she do. So I'm just giving you part of the answer.
Well, you're probably right. Do you think Mary ever did care anything for me?
Well, you know just as well as I do that she did. She wouldn't have said she'd marry you otherwise, would she? No, of course she wouldn't.
Well, do you think... Is there any chance of her caring for me as much again?
I don't know. I don't know about that, Fred. Not so long as you keep on acting like a sulky schoolboy. You get over acting that way, and maybe she might. But after all, she's the one to say, you know. Not me. Not me at all. Well, here's the post office. You can let me out here if you will.
I tell you what I wish you'd do, Henry. I wish you'd put in a good word for me with Mary.
Why, there's only one person that can do that, boy, and that's yourself. Much obliged, Fred.
I don't know why he acts that way, Bill.
Oh, well, don't think a thing of it, Mary. Bother me a bit. Maybe if I was Fred, I'd feel the same way.
Well, it's generous of you to say that, but I don't think you would.
Fred's basically a nice chap.
Oh, he's wonderful when he wants to be, but... Oh, I don't know. Tell me, what chance do you think Dad has of beating Redmond this time?
Well, if he plays the way he played today, he'll have a lot better chance than he did before. The thing is, he hasn't played enough to have a consistent game. He might do well one day and very badly the next.
Well, is Redmond consistent?
No, I wouldn't say he's consistent, but he's more consistent than Henry. But today, Henry was going good out there. He'd step up to the ball and swing, and he got some nice drives.
Golly, I hope he does the same thing Monday.
So do I. You going out?
Well, I don't know, Bill. I haven't decided yet. It's quite a strain watching last time. I almost think I'd rather not undergo that strain again.
If I felt that way, I wouldn't go. But I think one of us should be there with Henry, and of course there's always the possibility that I'll be called out on a case.
Well, I'll see. I'll probably decide to go. But wait a minute. Someone's coming up on the porch. Why, Fred.
I decided I'd walk right in this time.
Good.
Oh, I hope you'd still be here, Doc, because you're the one I want to see. Look, you asked me to go out and play golf with you sometime. Well, if that offer's still open, and if you don't mind playing with a dub, I'll be tickled to death to go out with you.
Why, sure thing. The offer's still open, Fred. We'll go out someday next week if you'd like.
Well, just let me know when. I'll be there. Well, I guess that's all.
Oh, sit down, Fred. You don't have to go yet. Just a second. Hello? Oh, yes, he's right here. Just a minute. No, it's for you.
Oh, thanks. Hello? Uh-huh. Yes, all right, I'll be right down. Goodbye. Well, back to work. I'll give you a call the first of the week, Fred.
That's swell.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Bill, and thanks a lot for helping Dad.
Anytime. Bye.
Bye. Oh, Fred, I'm awfully glad you came back.
I guess I did act pretty surly before. But from now on, I'm going to try to act like a human being. That was a little better, wasn't it?
Yes, Fred, it was. Much, much better.
Looks like Fred isn't giving up the fight for Mary yet. But has he any chance against Bill Nelson? What about Henry's golf match with John Redmond, which is coming up almost immediately? If he loses, Mary may have to go back to work for Fred, you know. So be sure to listen to the next chapter of Mary Foster, the Editor's Daughter. Can you think of anything that folks like better after a hard day's work than a long, thirst-quenching glass of iced tea? You bet you can't, because iced tea is the perfect answer to summertime thirst. That's the reason you're bound to score a hit when you serve Kroger's Special Blend for iced tea. Because Kroger's Special Blend for iced tea is more than ordinary iced tea. It's extra good iced tea, and here's why. Kroger's Special Blend for iced tea is tea that is blended for the sole purpose of making iced tea. It's a secret blend of Ceylon and India teas, and this fine blend gives you tea that retains its deep, rich color, its delicious, full-bodied flavor after icing. Yes, ma'am, Kroger's Special Blend for iced tea looks as good as it tastes, and tastes as good as it looks. There are 132 tempting glasses of extra good iced tea in a half-pound package, and it costs you only 35 cents. Try Kroger's Special Blend for iced tea soon. Remember, it's the tea that is meant for icing. Now, here is your local announcer.
Okay, so that was episode 2195, was aired on August 12, 1946. Mary Foster, the editor's daughter, that was Ed Hurley as the announcer. And as you notice on the photo there, Joan Banks on the left and Parker Finley on the right, of course, the daughter and the editor respectively, in front of the WBS microphone. World Broadcasting System, not a radio station, but a conglomerate, one of the largest radio packaging producing firms for dramatic and musical programs based in New York, but they had offices all over the country, and this program was recorded in New York by WBS, and of course they wanted to promote themselves, and so one of the publicity photos there shows Joan and Parker Fennelly. Of course, Parker Fennelly is best known on radio as Titus Moody on Fred Allen, and of course we remember him as the spokesperson for Pepperidge Farm for all those years on television. I wanted to make a note also of two other actors we heard in that particular episode. Ken Lynch as Dr. Bill Nelson, and did you recognize Maurice Tarplin as Fred Hunt? In this particular series, as Fred Hunt, Maurice Tarplin plays kind of a wuss character instead of the mysterious traveler, strange Dr. Weird, or even Inspector Faraday trying to get Boston Blackie in jail. There's no music on this series. Perhaps that there was a separate music theme and introduction on a separate recording, but for many of the recordings of Mary Foster that are in circulation, there is no music. And that's then the last slide. The audio is available from some episodes, Old Time Radio Researchers, and also When Radio Was plays an episode of Mary Foster every week on Tuesdays. And I had the pleasure of doing a Radio Spirit set, liner notes for Radio Spirit set several years ago of Mary Foster, the editor's daughter. And as you see in that photo there of the set, Kay Campbell was married at that particular time in 1947. As we recall from last week, Joan and Frank Lovejoy moved to Hollywood in late 1946, and they actually wrote Mary out of her own daytime serial for several weeks as the producers were trying to audition a new Mary. And from Chicago, Kay Campbell came into New York and took over the role. And so there was two people who played Mary Foster during the course of the serial, Joan Banks followed by Kay Campbell. Any questions? Oh, I want to thank John Abbott for cleaning up the audio and Frank Morgan for running the series. And I see, Richard, did you have a question?
No, that was just great fun. I really enjoyed it. It was beautifully done and absolutely clear. It was really wonderful to hear.
You can credit John with that. Any other questions, comments?
A comment, I just thought that the Kroger's iced tea commercial was more interesting than the show as far as I'm concerned.
Sometimes you got that on daytime serials. The commercials are better. Absolutely.
Jeez.
Well, it's made for icing, they said.
Right.
That went on for 3,200 episodes? Jesus.
Yeah, about 12 years. Hey, Ma Perkins went on for 23 or 24 years, 7,700 episodes. So this one, compared to Ma Perkins, this was, in the mid-range, but some daytime serials only lasted maybe a year or two.
Thank you so much, Carl. That was really delightful. And I like your sort of following up this month on the Joan Banks presentation we
Right.
had last month. I
Absolutely.
was very struck by that. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Does anyone else have any other questions for Frank or comments, observations?
I thank him for his work for putting up with that.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank is wonderful about this. Thank you so much, Frank. It
Well done.
really is great. Well
No
done.
problem.
So now
Well, can I
yeah,
just say something? It's Joni Leonard.
sure, Joni, of course.
Thank you, Wendy. I thought it was quite good. How many episodes are still extant?
There's probably only about 50 or 60. There was 32 episodes in that set, and there's maybe 10 or 20 that are floating around the internet, and we're always looking for more.
Oh, well, it's kind of good. I was a big soap opera addict when I was growing up, but I never heard this one. But I've heard it, on as radio when radio was in different places. But I don't think it aired in New York. Did it?
It did actually, and I'm glad you brought that up, Joni. An excellent point. With Kroger, the main sponsor at the beginning in the 1930s, and throughout the actual run of the series, it was only aired in Kroger markets. However, a couple of different radio syndicators got a hold of it and negotiated with both Kroger and the Jones Agency to air the program in basically across the country. So it wasn't on WR in New York. It was in stations in Connecticut, Texas, even in California with different sponsors other than Kroger. But it was actually heard all over the country at one time.
Oh, well, thank you for that information.
Certainly.
I appreciate it.
Certainly. It just, if some of you have seen Jim Cox's book on radio soap operas, he lists this as just in the list of programs that aired, 1938 and onwards. He doesn't have a chapter devoted to it. So my goal is to eventually, write more about this series because I thought it was a pretty decent series. So thank you, Joni.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions or curiosities? All right. Well, then I think we should move along to the quiz, the questions for bits and pieces, very kindly offered to us by Frank Morgan. And Lauren is here, so I will make
Hello.
Hello, Lauren. Thank you for volunteering to be the quiz.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because I might be MIA the next couple months, so we'll see.
Well, we won't hold it against you unless you miss the luncheon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
no Christmas in Middleburg this time.
Well, that's good. That's good. So let me make you a co-host. I think I got it right. Yes, I did. And Frank, I'm not sure you need those privileges anymore, do you?
No.
Okay, great. Then I will cancel those. There we go. All right. Lauren, do you need any prompts? Have you found
looking for my polls. There we go. Lunch. All right. So happy Friday the 13th. I hope everybody had a delicious day. I always use any excuse to have pastries. So, okay. So number 1 for bits and pieces. And I don't think there's anything that's going to trip me up this time, Frank. I promise. I shouldn't promise. Number 1, on the long-running soap, One Man's Family, what was the surname of the family? A, Taylor, B, Cook, C, Barber, or D, Baker? On the long-running soap, One Man's Family, what was the surname of the family? A, Taylor, B, Cook, C, Barber, or D, Baker?
Barber.
Number 2. Who was the Hollywood star who played the mild-mannered professor on Meet Mr. McNulty? A. Oh, Robert Mitchum. Wow. B. Ray Milland. C. Dick Powell. Or D. Edmund O'Brien? Number 2. Who was the Hollywood star who played the mild-mannered professor on Meet Mr. McNulty? A. Hot Stuff, Robert Mitchum. B. Ray Milland. C. Dick Powell. Or D. Edmund O'Brien? Number 3. After Cato, who was the first person to learn that Britt Reed was the Green Hornet? A. Britt's dad, Dan Reed. B. Dan's secretary, Linda Travis. C. Britt's secretary, Lenore Case. Or D. Police Commissioner Higgins. After Cato, who was the first person to learn that Britt Reed was the Green Hornet? A. Britt's dad, Dan Reed. B. Dan's secretary, Linda Travis. C. Britt's secretary, Lenore Case. Or D. Police Commissioner Higgins. Number 4. For what long-running juvenile show is Julian Noah best known? A. Superman. B. Lassie. C. Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Or D. Terry and the Pirates. For what long-running juvenile show is Julian Noah best known? A. Superman. B. Lassie. C. Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Or D. Terry and the Pirates. Not pilots. Number 5. Can you name Captain Midnight's plane? Was it A. Night Flight, B. Songbird, C. Silver Dart, or D. Silver Beauty? Oh my gosh, my cats. 5. Can you name Captain Midnight's plane? Was it A. Night Flight, B. Songbird, C. Silver Dart, or D. Silver Beauty? What character each week shouted the catchphrase, "Coming Mother"? A. Henry Aldrich, B. Junior O'Reilly, C. Junior Bumstead, or D. Archie Andrews? What character shouted the catchphrase each week, "Coming Mother"? A. Henry Aldrich, B. Junior O'Reilly, C. Junior Bumstead, or D. Archie Andrews? Number 7. Who is the comedian turned moderator on The Quiz Kids? A. Chico Marx, B. Joe Kelly, C. Clifton Fadiman, or D. Bud Collier? Who is the comedian turned moderator on The Quiz Kids? A. Chico Marx, B. Joe Kelly, C. Clifton Fadiman, or D. Bud Collier? Oh, we might have a bit of a stump here. Bluas, Beulah.
Beulah.
Beulah, not Bueller. Beulah. Beulah's friend was played by the great Ruby Dandridge. What was the character's name? A. Robin, B. Raven, C. Kestrel, or D. Oriole? Beulah's friend was played by the great Ruby Dandridge. What was the character's name? A. Robin, B. Raven, C. Kestrel. I thought it. Excuse me. Sorry.
No type.
Excuse me. So dramatic. Or D. Oriole. I'm allergic to cats. Thank goodness I have 3 of them. Number 9. His voice was easily mistaken for his older brother's, but he was the lead on the Silver Eagle. Which Amici was it? A. Don Amici, B. Jim Amici, C. Alan Amici, or D. Louis Amici? Whew, that's a lot of Amicis. So his voice was easily mistaken for his older brothers, but he was the lead on the Silver Eagle. Which Amici was it? A. Don, B. Jim, C. Alan, or D. Louis Amici? Ugh. Number 10. Which of the following shows was created by Phillips H. Lords? A. This Is Your FBI. B. The FBI in Peace and War. C. Tales of the Texas Rangers. Or D. Gangbusters? Which of the following shows was created by Phillips H. Lords? A. This Is Your FBI. B. The FBI in War and Peace. C. Tales of the Texas Rangers. Or D. Gangbusters?
Well done, Lauren. Thank you. There were some tricky names in there.
I know, Frank, you're tripping me up, man.
Yeah, I have a feeling the whole poll may be tripping people up. At any rate, that is just wonderful. And so now we're coming to the main part of the program. We have Peggy Adler with us. And Carl, would you like to introduce Ms. Adler to us?
It'll be my pleasure. The audiobook version of Peggy Adler's trilogy, Three True Stories of Scoundrels and Schemers, narrated by Peter Coyote, won gold medals in 2 prestigious literary competitions. First in the Independent Publisher Book Awards competition, and then in the Electronic Literature ELIT Awards competition. Prior to trilogy, she authored the historical biography Pallenberg Wonder Bears from the Beginning, as well as the award-winning pictorial history Images of America Clinton. Adler is also the author of the ebook and audiobook titled Anatomy of a Guilty Episode, The Who's Who of Gigi 470129, Marjorie's Hot Rod Boyfriend, The Great Gildersleeve John Whedon, and beyond. Decades earlier, in the 1960s and 70s, she authored and illustrated 5 titles for New York City publishers, both the John Day Company and Franklin Watts, which went out of print in the 1980s and were republished in 2 volumes in 2023. Furthermore, she's illustrated 24 others, provided art for the Bronx Zoo, the Humane Society of the United States, Little Brown and Company, the Journal of Theoretical Biology, the Journal of Algebra, the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics and World Scientific Publishing, and compiled and copyrighted a ragtime album titled Joplin Playing Joplin. Adler also coordinated the 1969 world premiere of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid for 20th Century Fox, and worked as a consultant for the U.S. House of Representatives October Surprise Task Force. Previous to winning the 2024 gold medals for trilogy, her book Images of American Clinton was named Best Research Publication by the Connecticut Society of Genealogists. And in 2017, Marquez Who's Who presented her with their Albert Nelson Lifetime Marquis Lifetime Achievement Award. Other honors include the Association of Former Intelligence Officers General Richard G. Stillwell Award, the Duck Island Yacht Club's Corinthian Award, and being named as a 2025 Connecticut Beacon awardee. An active member of each community in which she's ever lived, Adler spent 8 years as Clinton, Connecticut Police Commissioner and is presently chairman of the town's Historic District Commission. Take it away, Peggy.
Peggy's frame seems to be empty. I mean, she's signed on. She may have stepped away for a couple of minutes. That was a wonderful bio. Thank you, Carl. So we will wait with bated breath for Peggy to reappear. I hadn't noticed that she wasn't in her frame when I sort of got this started. Many apologies, but we will see. I'm sure she'll be along very soon, I hope, unless she just ran screaming from the house. Perhaps the quiz overwhelmed her. She was just like, I don't know if I can talk to these people.
It's fair. It's a tough quiz. Do you want me to go ahead and do a final end or anything, or?
Well, why don't we, yeah, because I'm not sure what's happened to Peggy, but why don't we go over the answer? Has everyone had a chance to uh,
Submit?
express their opinion of what the answers are?
Yeah. So yeah, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Take it away, Lauren. Thank
All
you,
right, I'm going to
Jerry.
end
That's
the
an
poll.
excellent suggestion.
Here we go. Let's see. Let me pull up the other sheet. I have my grades. All right. Share results. Okay. Success. All right. So the number 1 for bits and pieces. On the long-running soap One Man's Family, what was the surname of the family? A. Taylor, B. Cook, C. Barber, or D. Baker? The answer is C. Cook. Or I'm sorry, nope, I had that wrong. C. Barber. Well done, everybody. Number 2, who was the Hollywood star who played the mild-mannered professor on Meet Mr. McNulty? A. Robert Mitchum, B. Ray Milland, C. Dick Powell, or D. Edmund O'Brien? And most of you got it right with B. Ray Milland or Milland.
The land.
Oh, Milland. Oh, lots of different ways. So number 3, after Cato, who was the first person to learn that Britt Reed was the Green Hornet? A. Britt's father, Dan Reed. B. Dan's secretary, Linda Travis. C. Britt's secretary, Lenore Case. Or D. Police Commissioner Higgins. And the answer is B. Dan Reed's secretary, Linda Travis. It's always the secretaries. Number 4, for what long-running juvenile show is Julian Noah best known? A. Superman. B. Lassie. C. Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Or D. Terry and the Pirates. The answer is A. Superman. Well done. Most of you. Most of half of you. Number 5, can you name Captain Midnight's plane? Was it A. Nightbird, B. Songbird, C. Silver Dart, or D. Silver Beauty? And the answer is C. Silver Dart. Well done, most of you.
Wasn't the Songbird Sky King's plane?
I defer to literally anybody else.
Okay.
Perhaps Frank knows.
Yes, Songbird was Sky King's plane.
That was Sky King's plane. Thank you.
Also drinking iced tea. What character each week shouted out the catchphrase, "Coming, Mother"? A. Henry Aldrich, B. Junior O'Reilly, C. Junior Bumstead, or D. Archie Andrews? The answer is A. Henry Aldrich. 80%. Well done. Nobody got Junior O'Reilly. Number 7, who is the comedian turned moderator on the Quiz Kids? A. Chico Marx, B. Joe Kelly, C. Clifton Fadiman, or D. Bud Collier? And the answer is B. Joe Kelly. Which most of you got right. Well done. 40%. I mean, kind of most of you. Number 8, Beulah's friend was played by the great Ruthie Dandridge. What was the character's name? A. Robin, B. Raven, C. Kestrel, or D. Oriole? And the answer is Oriole. And
It was Ruby Dandridge. Her daughter was the great Dorothy Dandridge, who played Porgy and Glass.
I was wondering if there was a connection there.
That's Ruby Dandridge, not Ruthie Dandridge.
Okay. Number 9, his voice was easily mistaken for his older brother's, but he was the lead on the Silver Eagle. Which Amici was it? Don, Jim, Alan, or Lewis? And the answer is Jim. 90% got Jim. Well done. Lewis came in at 10%, and nobody thought Don or Alan. Sorry, Alan. Which of the following shows was created by Phillips H. Lords? A, This Is Your FBI. B, The FBI in Peace and War. C, Tales of the Texas Rangers. Or D, Gangbusters. And the answer is Gangbusters, which most of you got. Well done. Good quiz.
Thank you
Great
very
quiz.
much. Carl, do you have Peggy's phone number? Could you give her a call? You don't. Frank, do you have Peggy's phone number?
I'm here.
You
Oh.
are? Because
Yes.
her phone is empty.
No, I'm sitting down.
Aha.
My computer's up on a crate and I've got my dog in my lap. I figured I might as well sit until it was my time, until you wanted me.
Right. Well, but you didn't respond at first, so that's why we went ahead with the answer.
Oh.
But I'm glad you're there. But you are now in charge. Please take it away.
Oh, okay. Well, let me put my dog down.
Did you hear the introduction, Peggy?
Oh, is there?
My introduction for her. Did she hear that?
Did you hear the introduction that Carl gave for you?
No, I didn't hear any introduction.
So I don't think we need to.
No, we don't need
again,
no.
Carl.
No, I think
it's already been recorded and it was extensive. This is a clearly very well qualified person who has many, many accolades to her name. So Peggy, please tell us about Jack Benny and his polar bear, Michael.
No, Carmichael.
Carmichael. Sorry.
Carmichael.
Right.
Well, when I was writing the book about, is this supposed to speak? When I was writing the book about Emil Pallenberg, I had no idea why Carmichael was powdered white for the movie with Jack Benny, because there was nothing in the movie that said that she was, well, that he was supposed to be, that he was a polar bear. And it wasn't until after I had completed writing the book, it may have even been after it was published. Wait, let me put my dog down. That I was contacted by Laura Leibowitz from the Jack Benny International Fan Club and asked if I would give a talk about Carmichael. And that was when I learned what I'm going to be telling you now. Carmichael was first written into Jack Benny's radio show in February 1939 and became one of the program's most beloved running gags. Given to him as a birthday gift, Carmichael lived in the basement of his Beverly Hills home and was in more than 20 episodes. In 1940, Benny fans finally saw Carmichael in the feature film Buck Benny Rides Again. There he was portrayed by a female named Mishka, who was powdered for the part to make her look like a polar bear. The district passenger representative for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad at Los Angeles graphically described how the head of the property department at Paramount Pictures had him arranged to transport Mishka from Clinton, Connecticut to Los Angeles, California, right side up. He said that Jack Benny's polar bear Carmichael with attendants started from Clinton on the New Haven Road and was delivered to our road in New York. We carried him to Los Angeles on the National Limited in Rock Island, Southern Pacific, handled to that California. After completing her scenes in the movie, Mishka returned to her Connecticut home, and shortly thereafter, Paramount discovered she would be needed back in Los Angeles for retakes. Her owner and trainer, Emil Pallenberg, objected, saying that she was hibernating. Studio executives, while after checking their research department, told Pallenberg, "Polar bears don't hibernate," and wired him to that effect. To which Pallenberg promptly replied, "Maybe your research department knows more than Carmichael, but I'll give you odds they can't wake her up long enough to convince her." Mishka's owner and trainer, Emil Pallenberg, 1888 to 1963, is considered to have been the greatest bear trainer of his time, and he originated most of the tricks performed by bears to this day. He was the first person to teach a bear to ride a bicycle and a motorcycle. He also taught his bears to roller skate, dance, walk on stilts, play musical instruments, and walk the tightrope. At no time did the Pallenberg Wonder Bears, as they came to be known, perform in a cage. They performed on a leash attached to a muzzle or on a platform and in a ring. The Pallenberg Bears appeared in 3 major motion pictures, including Buck Benny Rides Again, and one was on Broadway for over a year. In the 1932 Jerome Kern, Oscar Hammerstein musical, Music in the Air. Here now is his story. Joseph Amel and Christian Pallenberg were brothers from Cologne, Germany, who came from a well-known artistic family and were three of the 6 children of Maria Pallenberg and her husband Johann, an interior decorator and gilder who worked on the Eiffel Tower. Joseph, the eldest of Maria and Johann Pallenberg's children, born in 1882, was extremely interested in animals from an early age, and following a visit to the Cologne Zoo when he was only 6, Joseph was inspired to begin drawing animals and shortly thereafter attempted to make models of them as well. He experimented at reconstructing the skeletons of dead animals, which he first boiled in his mother's saucepans. These experiments were the predecessor of a studio that would become filled with skeletons and castings from nature. When he was 17, Joseph enrolled at the Academy of Fine Art in Dusseldorf, where he first studied drawing but soon switched to sculpture. Joseph went on, in fact, to become a renowned sculptor and also was the co-creator of Cageless Environment for Animals in Zoos. Emil Pallenberg was 2 years Joseph's junior. In his teenagers, he and his younger brother Christian spent their spare time at Joseph's studio at the Cologne Zoological Garden. And when Joseph concluded from his study that various animals' anatomy that it would be possible to teach a bear to ride a bicycle, well, Emil and Christian decided to do just that. Every day from 1906 to 1908, Emil and Christian Pallenberg awakened at 3 or 4 in the morning and went to the Cologne Zoo on their bicycles, putting in hours training their bears, and then they went to work at businesses to which they had been apprenticed as part of Germany's dual education system. And though all of their friends thought they were crazy, their work was not in vain, for in the fall of 1908, Ella, a Russian brown bear, rode a bicycle all alone on the sidewalks in the zoo. Emil and Christian bought Ella and later Tona as cubs, who were so small when purchased that they arrived at Cologne in something similar to a birdcage. The Pallenberg brothers housed Ella and Tona at the Cologne Zoo, created an act billed as Pallenberg Bears, and were the first to present a bear riding a bicycle during a booking at Altona, Germany. During 1909 and 1910, the brothers weren't able to do much with their act because Emil was in the army. But after his military hitch ended, they had many bookings, which took them to France, Belgium, Holland, Sweden, Poland, and elsewhere. 1913 brought them back to Holland, this time with a circus. During that engagement, Christian decided to give up circus life and return to engineering, the field in which he had apprenticed. Before Christian departed, he and Emil spoke with the circus management, who agreed to Emil having a new assistant. But the agreement was verbal, not in writing, and 2 days later the circus left town without Emil, for the management company had confiscated his animals, claiming breach of contract, so he had to stay in Holland. For months, Emil and his circus management were not able to come to any agreement, for according to Emil, they were not interested in the money, which was very high, but in fact they wanted his animals. Finally, in August of 1913, an internationally known booker of circus and vaudeville acts in Germany, who was a representative of an agency in Berlin, bailed him out, and Emil and his bears were reunited and free to leave the country. While he was stranded in Holland, Emil met 21-year-old Catherine Wilhelmina Theresa Wout Soverein, a.k.a. Cato, who managed a small inn with her husband. And when Emil and his bears were finally able to leave Holland in the fall of 1913 for a 5-week engagement in St. Petersburg, Russia, Katharina went with him, leaving behind her husband and her 2-year-old son. Once in Russia, Katharina began to assist Emil with his bear act. And though it's been reported that they were married in St. Petersburg, Russia that year, they were in fact not wed until November 1915 in New York City, 4 months after Katharina's first husband divorced her in Rotterdam. While in Russia, Martin Beck, an American vaudeville theater owner and manager, as well as a theatrical booking agent, saw Emil Pallenberg's bear act and offered him contracts for 6 months of Orpheum circuit engagements in the United States. And so, late April 1914, Emil and Katharina and 3 acrobatic bears, Ella, Tona, and a new one acquired in Russia named Sasha, sailed from Bremen, Germany, to the United States. They arrived in New York's Ellis Island 1 week later and went from there to the Palace Theater in Chicago, the first stop on the vaudeville tour. While on the vaudeville circuit, March 9th, 1915 brought Emil, Katerina, now known as Catherine, and the Bears to a theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Their act, and in particular Ella, received rave reviews, for the headline in the local newspaper read, "Bear rides bicycle on Hartford stage. Clever trained animals had excellent program." It was to be the Pallenberg Bears' last booking on the Orpheum circuit, as the previous month, John Ringling had hired them for his Barnum and Bailey Greatest Show on Earth, and thus the Pallenberg Wonder Bears became headliners with Ringling Brothers' own circuses, which at the time were headquartered in Bridgeport, Connecticut. In 1917, when the United States entered World War I and President Woodrow Wilson issued his alien enemy proclamations, there was such animosity against German nationals living and working in the United States that the Pallenbergs performed under the name of Pallen for a number of years. Emil and Catherine and their Wonder Bears remained with the Ringling through Barnum and Bailey's 1919 merger with the Ringling Brothers' World's Greatest Shows. And all the Pallenbergs and their Wonder Bears were with the Ringlings continuously for 15 consecutive seasons until sometime in 1929. After that, the Pallenbergs and their Bears became independent contractors, though they continued to perform with Ringling and Brothers and Barnum and Bailey combined show on a booking-to-booking basis through at least 1939. And at the time, the Pallenberg Wonder Bears is believed to have been the longest-running continuous act to have performed with the Ringlings. Because the circus headquarters was in Connecticut, the Pallenberg family eventually came to live in Clinton following the ad they had placed in a German newspaper while expecting their first child, for they were in search of a family with which the baby could eventually board when they were on the road with the circus. Gustav Winter and his wife replied to the ad, and the Pallenberg's son, born in early 1916, began to board with them, possibly on or about his first birthday, but definitely by the time he was 3, as the 1920 census has him listed with the Winter family as a boarder. In 1924, the Winters sold their house and farmland to the Pallenbergs, along with the red barn in the back, which Emil had transformed into a winter training quarters for the Bears. 4 years later, their daughter was born, and this then became the permanent winter home of the Pallenberg family and their Wonder Bears during the circus off-season. Over the years, Emil and his wife, Catherine, and during the Clinton school vacations, their children, traveled the world, where they performed at expositions and fairs as well as with various circuses worldwide. But they remain best known for their 15 consecutive seasons with Ringling-owned circuses and their occasional appearances with the brothers' combined show as independent contractors for at least another 10 years. In February 1947, Emil and Catherine Pallenberg returned to New York after an engagement in Mexico and announced that they were retiring from show business and would be settling down in their Connecticut home. While Catherine became active in retirement as a member of the Clinton Garden Club and Clinton Country Club, Emil missed having a bear, and so shortly after his 1947 retirement purchased yet another and final bear. She was a Himalayan moon bear, called so because of the distinctive white crescent moon shape on her chest, and he named her Snookums after their friend, comedian actress Fanny Brice's then popular radio persona, Baby Snooks. Snookums performed with Emil until at least the summer of 1953, when he retired for the final time. He said Snookums was the smartest and most affectionate bear he'd ever owned, and that she could do more tricks than any other animal in the world. She could ride a kiddie car, a hobby horse, and a bicycle with a seat 6 feet in the air. Snookums could also roller skate, play a saxophone and a concertina, do backward somersaults, and dance with or without a doll for a partner, and much, much more. Playful, Snookums loved to climb trees and toss a basketball with Emil in the yard of their Connecticut home. And I have a little movie that I had made that has them in 1950s doing just that. Emil Pallenberg died in 1963 at the age of 74. In 1969, he and Catherine were inducted into the Sarasota, Florida Circus Hall of Fame. Catherine, who attended the ceremony, died 2 years later at the age of 80. And both are buried in Clinton, Connecticut's Indian River Cemetery. Emil and Catherine Pallenberg worked with and knew many famous people, including Jack Benny, Marx Brothers, Mae West, Fred Allen, Fanny Brice, Tom Mix, and Will Rogers, among others. And their Wonder Bears appeared in a number of movies, as well as a television show, including The Eagle, with Rudolph Valentino, Vitaphone stage show, the aforementioned Buck Benny Rides Again with Jack Benny, Sensations of 1945, season one of the Milton Berle show, Texas Star Theater, and additionally they performed on the stage 14 weeks in Ballyhoo, a prologue at Grauman's Chinese Theater, which accompanied the Hollywood premiere of Charlie Chaplin's The Circus, and on Broadway in Karen Hammerstein's Music in the Air. The farmhouse in Pallenberg, the Pallenbergs bought from the Winter family in Clinton, Connecticut, was built in 1750, and the barn where the bears were trained, which was renovated for that purpose by Emil himself while their son was boarding with the Winter family, looks much the same today. And you can learn more about Pallenberg and his family in my book, Pallenberg Wonder Bears from the Beginning, which was published in 2022 and is being republished this year on May 1st, which is 1st of May as a circus terminology for first-time circusers. It's a 206-page volume, has 60-page timeline, and starts in 1852 and ends in 2018. 20-page glossary and an 86-page gallery of Pallenberg family and archival photographs and documents. That's the story of Mishka and Carmichael and Emil Pallenberg, who lived here in Clinton, Connecticut, where I live.
Thank you very much, Peggy. That was most informative, and it's really wonderful. What was the name of the book that's being republished on the Pallenberg?
Oh, Pallenberg Wonder Bears from the Beginning.
Wonder Bears.
It's out currently as a ebook, but the paper version is coming out again in softcover and hardcover on May 1st.
Wonderful.
I thought that was a good date to ask to have it come out again on the original cover had a picture of, well, I was going to have the one of the Barnum and Bailey posters, Wonder Bear posters, as the cover. And I thought I would test it out going to our local, there's a wonderful independent bookstore in Madison, the next town down, that's very, has speakers, tours all the time. So I brought the postcard because, the publisher had made, 5,000 plasticized postcard, but with this picture on it. And they thought it was a children's book. So my collaborator on the book, my indispensable collaborator, is the Pallenberg's granddaughter, who lives in the house that her grandparents lived in and next door to the barn where the bears were trained. So we decided we would have a photograph of him training a bear to roller skate on the cover. And we got one nasty comment at Amazon by a PETA type person. Didn't read the book, but made nasty comments about it. So the reissuing of the book has the Barnum and Bailey poster on the cover.
With the caveat, not a children's book.
Yeah, well, especially since his wife, I feel, left a lot to be desired, to say the least. She did not see her son for another 50 years. And she lied on her marriage license in New York.
Yeah, I was thinking bigamy when you were talking about that.
Well, when he died, and I'll tell you, when they got married in November 1915, I got their marriage license, and she lied on the sworn statement on it. She said that she had never been married before and she was never divorced. And then 4 months later, their first child was born. So today that wouldn't have been so unusual, but back then it would have been, I gather, 1915, 1916. So I went down to Bridgeport and I got young Emil's birth certificate, and it says first live birth, one living child.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a kid in Holland. 12 years later, her daughter is born here in Clinton. So I went and got the birth certificate. Second live birth, 2 living children.
Well, in this digital age, it would be much harder to pull that off.
And
frankly, I think that's an awful lot to bear.
Yeah, right. But it's
good one, Wayne. Good one.
The Netherlands has all of their vital statistics online. I had joined myheritage.com when I was researching the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it had not only when she was born, when her first husband was born, when they got married, when he divorced her, and when he remarried 10 days later after he divorced her. 2 years after she had left. And that's all in the timeline.
Wow.
But the story here in Clinton had always been that she was 18 and Emil was 21, and that there was nothing about a circus, that he had come with his bears, and it rained for 3 days and 3 nights, and that he stayed in the inn that she worked at with her father, and that the bears stayed in the barn, and that they went at the end of 3 days, she ran off with him. Well, I have to tell you, when he died in 1963, his obituary in the Hartford Courant said that they were married in St. Petersburg, Russia in 1913. So either she was a bigamist and they got married a second time, or she just wanted to continue to perpetuate the lie.
Good heavens. Well, it sounds very convoluted and possibly Russian. So very good, very interesting.
So it was fun researching the book.
I would think.
And I told Dib, their granddaughter, I said, this is what the truth is. And I said that if I have to have the book state the conventional wisdom of what people here in Clinton know about the Pallenbergs, I can't write the book. I said, if I can tell the truth, I can write it. So I said, it's your choice because it's your grandparents. And she said, write it.
Good for her.
So it's all there. Oh, she's a wonderful person.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, now, does anyone have any questions or curiosities, John Abbott?
Yes. Of all the animals in the world, do you have any insight as to why Jack Benny's writer decided to give him a polar bear for a pet?
No, just that writers come up with very strange ideas, and they write things that they think of, that their family thinks of. They write about they put in family and friends' names and stories. I don't think they expected it to last. I think it was supposed to be a one-time deal. And of course, the polar bear never wound up in scenes that I knew of with Jack Benny. It was always with Rochester calling Jack up saying, boss, Carmichael's got a chest cold, or
eating the gas man.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of the things that I was asked during that Jack Benny convention when I gave first time I ever gave my Carmichael talk. They said, whatever happened to the gas man? I said, well, everybody had gone to San Francisco and left Carmichael at home. So I said the gas man and Carmichael came back to Clinton, Connecticut.
Nice cover. Other questions?
Yeah, I mean, anybody have any questions about the Pallenbergs or Carmichael? Or I mean, Carmichael was played by Mishka, who was a female. All of the Pallenbergs bears were female.
And I don't specifically have a question. I just wanted to thank you for your presentation. And one thing that was one of the things I really liked about it is I know that there were radio stars who had been in vaudeville, but this was like radio, vaudeville, movies, and circuses, and it was just it's really interesting to have a story that's really covering all these forms of entertainment that were so popular at the time.
Yeah, I was amazed because when I started writing the book, I first learned about the Pallenbergs living in Clinton. I had never heard of them. I knew there was a Pallenberg Drive, but I had been asked by Arcadia Publishing to write the history of Clinton, Connecticut. And so the first 70 pages are historic preservation. I mean, we've got over 250 buildings on the National Register of Historic Places, which for a town of 13,000 people is pretty awesome. We have 3 National Register districts. But I wanted to have businesses from the past, which would be ponds, and people from the past up to the present. And people said, do the Pallenbergs. I said, who are they? And that's when I met Dib. And she had just moved back into the house where she had grown up. And she had never looked in the closets. She had all these photographs that her mom and her grandmother had put into albums, and others were just in cartons. And I scanned a lot of them. And I said, there've got to be contracts somewhere. They saved all these photographs, but no contracts. And she called me up one day between Christmas and New Year's in 2021. And she said, I found 2. I went and looked in the closets. And I found 2 cartons, and they had all the vaudeville contracts, all the circus contracts, all the movie contracts, and the Broadway contract. I did a lot of scanning. And that was and you know, she knew that the Bears had been in at least one movie, but she didn't know they'd been in 3, and certainly didn't know that it had been on Broadway, because she was only 1 when her grandfather retired for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
Really interesting. So thank you so much.
What a wonderful
Oh,
journey.
my pleasure. Yeah.
Other questions, observations, curiosities? Anyone? Well, Peggy, that was simply delightful.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Well, we're honored to have you, and it's a wonderful evening, and thank you for your flexibility. I really appreciate that, you know, sort of originally thinking you were going to do this in April, and then suddenly you're doing it in March, and you know, it's just wonderful. Thank you. I hope we'll have occasion to hear from you in the future.
Well, as far as I know, I'm coming back next year regarding my most recent book, which is Anatomy of a Gildy Episode. It's about one Gildersleeve episode.
Oh, wonderful. Well, then,
and it's the history of, and it's the I call it Whedonology. It's the history of the Whedon family, as well as I dissect one episode of The Great Gildersleeve.
Wonderful. Well, that would be fun.
So that's pretty much it.
And you'll be able to play an audio clip and stuff like that from it, I'm sure. And if
anyone who gets the book, in the table of contents, there's a link to a free audio download of the entire episode.
No, I'm thinking of your presentation.
Oh, my presentation. The show is called Marjorie's Hot Rod Boyfriend.
And we do have our own John Abbott is very good at sort of cleaning up audio and helping with getting some of this stuff together, and so is Frank. So
yeah, this is pretty sharp. It's pretty clean. It's pretty
Great
clean.
stuff.
But John Whedon, who was became the head writer along with his partner Sam Moore after the first year of Gildersleeve, he did what even TV writers today do. They use the names of family and friends.
Great. So
the Hot Rod Boyfriend was named for his 10-year-old nephew.
Perfect. Well, that's a lovely taste of what we have to look forward to next year. Have you lined up a date with Karl?
No, he just said sometime in 2027. So
Karl, you can get with Peggy and nail down a date.
We're working on it. You bet.
Great.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
I'm pretty free every Friday night, so.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Peggy.
You're welcome. Thank you again for having me. I feel very honored to have been able to be here.
You are more than welcome. This presentation will be posted to YouTube, or John Abbott usually gets these things out the next day on YouTube. So, you know, on Sunday or whatever, you can look for it and you will find your presentation.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Technology, we love it when it works. So this is great, and we've already had our quiz. So we can move on to the business portion of this meeting. Peggy, if you're into you know, how the sausage is made, you're more than welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Well, I have a rescue puppy that needs to go for a walk.
Ah, well, we don't want the rescue puppy not to get its walk. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Really lovely.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So now we will go to the business meeting